are you?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just busy as usual. Oh, no, no, no. What the heck? Oh, great. Sorry, I pressed something on my computer. I don't know what I pressed, and everything disappeared.
In Figma or in your computer?
No, my computer. I was pressing like, okay, I got it back. I got it back. I don't
Perfect.
know. I think, yeah, I pressed some buttons on the keyboard. Everything just disappeared. That was freaky. I escaped and now it's back.
Perfect. Helen, doesn't have any trouble if I record the call?
Oh yeah, 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 you should. Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, you
Thank you.
let me let me share my screen. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I can see it now. Admin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, so this piece is going to be, so we just finished Eigen Image Twin, or at least finished for now.
Okay,
um, this is a new product called Eigen Studio, and Eigen Studio is basically a suite of products.
hmm,
So Image Twin will be part of it. This admin will be part of it. The model builder and the algorithm builder that you did before will be part of it. So it's basically encompass like everything that Eigen has into like a giant product suite.
okay,
So obviously it's a lot of work. So I'm going to break down in chunks. And the first piece is this admin tool, which we already have in our front end right now. So the studio is basically a redesign of our front end tool to make it more product oriented and like end to end, user friendly.
okay.
Because right now you've seen this before. I think they removed some,
Okay.
but there was like 10 apps in here.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna streamline this process. And the first section that we need to do is right now it's called the admin tool. So
Okay.
if you go to admin in your account, you should land on this landing page or something that looks like this. Let me know if you don't have access. I can tell Catlin to add you.
Okay, let me.
Um,
I'm going to try right away. Please wait.
okay.
Okay, I'm go inside, log in, admin. Yeah, well, yeah, I have only one plan with one line with three machines, but yeah,
Okay, okay,
I
that's good
think
enough.
I have
Okay.
user management.
Okay.
Yeah, I have all access. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So, um, I how I'm gonna say this. So this right now is an app in our front end, which is fine. So there's kind of two parallel process going on with this product. One is this front end, which we currently have, right? It's not the best, user experience, but whatever the solutions team, like engineers, can do what they need to do using these tools right here, right? Like it's not optimized for looks, it's not optimized for flow, but they can do what they need to do.
Mhm.
So that is sort of version one, is this ugly, just get all the functions there, who cares about the looks. So that is there. So we have all the functions. Now they can use this in the meantime, but on the side, we can start designing a studio product that is, more professional looking, if you will.
Okay.
So we start with this admin app. So what this admin app does is when the user first log in for the first time, they don't have anything, right? It's a complete blank. So Eigen will help the user create a company. So I
It's
think
like
these are the company.
an onboarding process with the first
Yeah, it's like
company with the
onboard.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you log in, you will also, like, obviously the person will have account because otherwise they can't log in.
Mhm.
So once you log in, there will be a company. The company will be made for you, and you will
Okay.
have your admin account. So that
Hmm.
person will only see like, okay, this is my company. and I have a count.
Yeah.
And they need to first start with this admin process.
Mhm.
It's probably, I don't know if we're gonna keep the app idea. I'm okay to like redo this. The problem with this app is they have no idea, okay, I need to do the admin first and then alignment, then monitor. Like there's no order here. So if we want to keep the app, that's fine, but it needs to be like ordered.
Okay.
Or we do something like image twin. We have like a flow process that they can like it's like a wizard. They can track through where they are
Mhm.
and stuff. So there's a lot of freedom in design for this product that I'm open to your suggestions because it's a humongous piece. I will This is, as I said, this is the first section. I will detail out the later sections for you to help you sort of see in a big picture how the flow should be, because I think that's the major problem that we have. It's the flow through different apps, because within each apps there's different steps. So there's like you have to go through the different apps, and within the apps there's different steps, and then at some point you might need to go across apps to access stuff. So it's a huge mess. But I will come up with like a user flow for you so you know at least functionally that's what you do, so you can design it like full like UX wise what's the best
Mhm.
decision for that. Um so I will give you the overall flow, but we can start on this piece. So when they log in, they need to basically create plant, create line, create all these things because there's nothing in there at the moment. So there are a couple of things that I would like to see changed here. Because right now, like you log in, you see all these buttons, right?
Yeah.
They're not probably not the best way to do things, but at least they get the job done for now. Um, when they This need to happen in a sequential order. So, for example, like you can't create a line without a plant, right? Because
Yeah.
the line belongs to a plant, right? And then you can't create a machine without creating the line because the machine belonged to the line. So this needs to happen in a certain order, and also they can create multiple plants, multiple lines, right? So on the left hand side here, the biggest one is the company, I believe,
Yeah.
and then the next one is the
Plant.
plant, and then the next one is the line.
And
So
then
company, plant, line. And that's it. They don't show the rest. So on the left panel, it stops at the line. But within the line, there's a lot more stuff going on, right? But for this left panel here, they like to right now stops at the line. And I agree, like we don't want to have too many like nested, like folders.
yeah.
So I'm okay with stopping at the line, but they have to know somehow that there are stuff after the line.
Yeah.
um so I'm gonna type you the order that it makes sense. So right now on the left panel we have company, which is already created. So they need to have plant. I'm typing in Slack. Plant, line, and then we have like what's next? Plant, line, machine, machine, ESM, which is Eigen Smart Module. It's like a computer. And HMI. Okay. So I send you in Slack. So this is basically going in a hierarchy. Plant is like a location, a factory location. Within that location, you can have multiple lines. And within each line, you can have
Yeah.
machines.
Mhm.
And within each machine, there's like ESM is like a computer processor. Like it's like hardware stuff.
But
So um
we have for example, machine application, PLC, machine parameters,
yeah.
SMS, and mhm.
I'll go through the others in a sec.
But they
So
all are in within the machine, isn't it? Or they are process that you can, I don't know how to
yeah,
mention this, but
okay.
well, I get
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
So the one so how do I okay. So you know what a plant is, you know what a line is. That's the factory stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah. Yeah.
Eigen. It
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with Eigen.
Yeah.
Machine. is an Eigen machine.
Okay.
So the machine we provide them, or they can have their own machine. That's fine too. So it could be either way. Like they can either have their own machine or we give them the machine.
Mhm.
So um yeah, I'm not sure if machine's Eigen specific. It can be factory too.
Okay.
ESM. So here the next one is ESM. ESM is Eigen specific. It's Eigen smart module. It's like it's basically it's what you need to build a computer. So like they will have software installed on it and they just need to like install it like physically inside the machine to make it work. So ESM is Eigen specific and a machine can have multiple ESMs as you're seeing from the algorithm builder.
Yeah.
Um and then each ESM I think is linked to an HMI. That is like a interface, like a touchable touch screen, for example.
Okay.
And this is in the factory. So what I sent you is plant line machine ESM HMI. So that is one flow
Yeah.
from like a decreasing order
Yeah.
hierarchy. And then here you see machine application wasn't part of it. So we have machine application, we have PLC, and then we have machine parameters. So machine application. Machine application is um like what are you trying to do? So for example, it could be detecting if the wielding temperature is high enough. So for example, the one of our biggest application
Yeah.
is or customer is quality inspection for gas tank, like the gas tank in the car. They need to wield on like with like hot like they need to melt the plastic and put the two pieces together.
Yeah.
So it's like a wielding application. So that is an application I'm inspecting wheels on the car gas tank. Does that make sense to you? Like
Yeah.
that's one app. Like what are you using it for? Are you using it for to uh see if the temperature is hot enough for the wielding process? Are you doing assembly verification, right? Are you doing quality inspection for paint?
Yeah.
Are you detecting scratches on metal? So that's what it means. It's like, what's the application?
Mhm.
So it's like it's literally just like if you go here directly. Oh, can I go here? It you just need to put a name and then description. So if I do if I do paint inspection, for example, I name it that, my description will be detect uh detect paint scratches, um uh dust in car paint,
Okay.
something like that. So it's like what are you trying to do?
Mhm.
It's an application. So that's what the application means. So um I had this question for the team. Where does this belong? Does is the application like plant like connected to a plant? So a plant can have multiple applications or the same application can be used across plants, right? For example, if we have the paint inspection,
Mhm.
that's an application, right? We're inspecting paint. Can I use the same application for plant A and plant B and plant C,
Mhm.
right? So, or is the application plant specific? So within this plant, I have a paint inspection. If I have a new plant and I want to do paint inspection, it has to be called something else, like paint inspection two or something.
Okay.
Or we have to be more specific, like car paint inspection or desk furniture paint inspection. So this is the answer that I got. The application doesn't have to be plant specific, but
Okay.
right now it is. You see the competition. Like it doesn't have to be, but for all our customers, it is plant specific, right?
Mm,
So keeping that in mind, I guess, like it can be across from multiple plants, but the application now is not. But in the future, like there's no reason why it can't be.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So so basically then this, if it can be, then to me this goes above the plant,
The plan.
right? Yeah.
But can be in the
But
future about the line or machines, isn't it?
yeah. So, but the thing is, this is like these stuff like plan to line machine, ESM, HMI, these are like physical stuff. These things exist. They're physical stuff. Whereas like machine application, this is a concept,
Okay.
right? It's not something physical. So that's why I moved out of that line that I sent you. So this I feel need to be in different step. Like it can happen before you define the plant line, etc., or it can happen after, but it needs to be like separate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, so that's what machine application is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm okay if, upfront when they log in, they create an application first before they create the line. Um, yeah. And then
And do you know how often we need to create this kind of application? It's like for each process, for in a
mhm,
plant, how many applications in average we create?
I think so far, I'm not sure, but I think right now it's one plant, one application.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but in the future,
And
there could be more applications within the same plant.
yeah, and right now,
Yeah.
if like mandatory when you create a plan, you need to create like a machine application, or it's like optional.
Uh,
How it works?
yeah. So right now how it works is what you see here. Like this is the flow. Plant, line, application, machine, PLC,
Okay,
machine
you
parameter.
cannot jump that step.
That's right. Right now, like this, what you see here is the flow.
And why the machine application if after the create line and it's not before after the create plant?
Yeah. So this this can go before here or before here, but it
Mhm.
cannot go after
Yeah,
because
because you know
yeah,
what I was thinking right now, the idea that you present to me, I see everything like a fractal. So you need to go inside because, for example, if you click there in create a machine, you're going to
yeah,
see that you need to select the plant, then you need to select the line, now you need to select the
yeah,
machine application, and I think this is a lot of steps that they are not necessary. So what I was
yeah,
thinking is like create in the admin section, we're going to create the user management, we're going to create the manage factory, and we're going to
yeah,
have like a subtitle that can say something like my plants, or the name of the company, and then you have
yeah,
a name that says like create new plant. When you create a new plant, inside there you can create when you create the new plan, you can create the machine
mhm,
application as well at the same time, because if you need both, maybe we can create only one step, create plan and create machine application in only one step. Then when you click
yes,
inside the create plan, you're going to see only one option, that is create a line or create another plan, of course. But you go inside the plan, you can create the line, you go inside the line, and you can create the machine. I don't know if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah,
So
that's how it should be. Yeah, that's how it should be.
we when you're going to create a machine, for example, it's really simple because you only need to put like the name and optional the description. But it's like you don't need to pick the plan or the line or the machine application because it's redundant. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's already under. Yeah, it's like pre-populating those fields because
Yeah.
it's yeah, yeah, yeah. I will. So this brings me a question for the engineering team. Like, can a machine belong to multiple lines and multiple plants?
Yeah, that's a question
So
that I have because
I would, yeah,
yeah, the line
yeah,
I think is inside the plant, but the machines I don't know they are. Or for example, I know that is kind of trouble with the PLC or parameter or SEMS because I
yeah.
think they are like um exchangeable between plants and machines. I don't know if that's right, but
Mhm.
in that case,
Make
maybe it's
it
going to
working.
be. Well, I was thinking, meanwhile you're talk, in create this kind of button that we create in assemble verification, like okay, reproduce or duplicate or clone in this machine or in this plant. So I think maybe
Yeah,
we can take some of that.
do something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think you got it. So you see why I don't like this here. It's very primitive. It's like very, very
I really
like
like this because it's like okay, I don't need to go inside anything. I have everything here. But if I am someone that I don't have all the information of the Eigen Studio, it's like it's complicated when I need to create a HMI
yeah, you
or
wouldn't
when I
know.
create a
You
machine.
wouldn't know where you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't know where you're at.
It's
That's the problem.
this is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an advanced view, an expert view, but I don't think it's bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
well,
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to ask you something. How will does Eigen to change the menu? Because I want to change the header, but I don't know if you are will to do that. Because right now I think it's really underrated is the word. I don't know, but it's we ¿cómo diría mi amor que lo estamos subutilizando? Underrated, yeah, I think it's like okay, we don't use the header properly, so I prefer the header with all this function already. Let me show it to
Okay,
you.
yeah. You can design however you want because right now like this is gonna change, right? Because we're not gonna have it looks like this. So this is gonna change the search functions, like what are you searching for? Like part and machine, which doesn't make sense, you know? I mean, again, like you said, it makes sense to them now because they build it and they use themselves, right? It makes sense for Eigen. It doesn't make sense for everybody else.
Hmm.
And then like this here, I mean, it should say Studio, Eigen Studio, because that's gonna be the product. It shouldn't say the app name anymore. And
Yeah.
like this, okay, like I don't know. Some people like it, some people don't. So if you feel like you want to design this panel, like you can as well. So I think here you have more freedom to just do whatever.
Okay. I
Like,
sent you a view of, for example, a stripe. It's kind of complex. I
yeah.
don't want to do some that complex, but as you
Okay.
can see, you have look at so many functions. You have the menu right there, and then you have a more button. This is in Spanish. I'm sorry, but you have a more button
Yeah.
with all the subcategories, the sub products with the icons and everything. This you have the search bar, and it's like everything there. This is kind of complex, as I told you, but
Yeah.
that is what I want. I want something clear and not
There. Yeah.
complex, but you have all the functionality right away in your header.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I I I
Yeah.
I
Feel
want to
free
work on
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, feel free to design and then like I can pass it around. Like if people don't like it, we can modify it based upon it. So like and if you have like different versions, like feel free to like you don't need to do high fidelity at this point. You can do low fidelity just, just so we don't waste time and make sure everyone's on board before you start like making it prettier.
Perfect, perfect.
I'm okay with like low fidelity first and then just pass around until we like set on the main designs and then you can work out the details.
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so um yeah, so feel free to put this where you like it. It just has to be before the machine, because without a machine you can't have an application. I mean, without an application, machine application, you can't have a machine or something like that. But that's me trying to help the dev. Theoretically, when we design, we don't care what their code is. So anyway, I'm just trying to not upset them too much. um, but yeah, but at the end of the day, like, it should I don't care what happens in the back end. Like, the user doesn't care what happens in the back end. The
Mhm.
front end needs to be, like, professional.
Okay.
um okay, so that's this piece. PLC, you know what a PLC is, right?
Mm,
Oh,
sort of.
let me show you. PLC. So it's a physical thing. It's like a controller.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm showing to I don't even know what it looks like, but it's something like this. It's a controller that controls the line. In a assembly line, um assembly line, like, you have this belt, right? Like, it goes, the belt moves, and then the machine does stuff on the belt. So what these PLC do is, if for example, if we detect a defect, if we detect something wrong, then we trigger the PLC, and the PLC will, like, for example, it will stop the line. So it will stop the line from moving.
Mhm.
Or it will, like, like, I don't know, move this piece out. So a PLC is like a physical computer part that tells this assembly line what to do if something happens.
Mhm.
So the easiest example is, okay, I see a defect, I stop the line.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what PLC is. It's a physical, like, computer part
Yeah.
that talks to the conveyor belt.
Mhm.
So here, as you can see, there's
I'm
different
sorry.
types of PLC.
Yeah. See.
And then again, see here, like, you have to fill this out again. Um, and so this is factory, right? This is not us anymore. This is factory specific, like the line and the plant. This is factory specific. Um,
When you mean
it doesn't
factory,
really.
is all the company, or what is factory means? What is the difference between plant and factory?
Oh, same. That's just another word.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it belongs to the plant or the line,
Mhm.
right? Like, um, PLC belongs to the plant or line. So this is not Eigen. This is what they have.
They.
And and the thing is, the difference between, so a machine has to belong to a line, and a line has to belong to a plant, right? And sure, you can say the same thing here. PLC have to belong to a line. But the thing is, because we're just defining what type of PLC here, um, the same type can be applied to multiple lines,
Mhm.
right? Because there's not, as you can see, there's only two types here. So these are, like, there's only two types of PLC. So it can be defined outside of the plant line machine ESM scope.
Okay.
If you feel like it should be with this part of workflow, that's fine, but it's a bit repetitive, because if you create 5 lines, you might use the same type of PLC
For each one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I
for
think it's
each
going to
one.
be outside that scope. I think it. You are right.
Yeah, yeah. And same thing, same idea with machine parameters. Machine parameters obviously belong to a machine, but, like, you can have 5 machines that have the same parameter.
Mhm.
So these two can be grouped together. They're similar in that regard.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't include application, PLC, and machine parameter in that flow. But now, like, if there's any questions, like, feel free to ask me, because I don't know everything. But I think this gives you a basic idea of what each of these buttons are.
Mhm.
So my feedback from others is that they doesn't need to be all in the same flow. It can be overwhelming, and it's just too much upfront, and some can be removed. So that's why I did the plant line machine ESM HMI, because those are, like, physical descending, and it makes sense to do them. Like, for these three, it can be separate, But if you feel like if it's better in your workflow, then you can add it in. But you can also like put it in a different section if you like.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, haha, this button can be completely removed if you have the upper part designed properly. The reason why we have this button here is for editing purposes. Because right now, when you create each of these, like when you actually submit, it will create it for you in the back end. And there's no way for the user to edit. So if they want to edit, like I don't like the application name, I want to rename it. They don't have that capability here. So that is why this button is created. Um, if the this is mainly for editing purposes. This is like management, you know. I want to delete a plant, I want to delete a line, I want to rename a line, I want to rename a plant. So that is what this button's for. So if
Okay.
you have your card process and everything, then this can be like this button can disappear
Yeah,
if we can have capability within.
yeah, yeah. I want to make a root list for each section, so I don't think that we need to have that kind of section because you're going to be able to do it in each view.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
sure.
So yeah, I'll make sure it doesn't have any other purpose, but like this is literally just manage what you already created. So if you can create and manage at the same time, then that's even better. Okay, so that's management. So like edit, delete, create new is here. So I guess this is just edit and delete. And then so that is everything for the factory resource management. So this all belongs in the factory. And then this section is the users. So like who can use the software. Right now we have add new users. So first name, last name, email. Um, like we add users one by one. And then oh, that's not here. Okay, okay. Another part of just adding the user is give them permission. So user one can see this line A and line B. User two can see line C and line D. So another aspect of create user is user permission, which do I have a design for it? Hold on, give me one sec. I have a very bad design, I think. Where is the admin tool? Elegant design? Self-serve. Ah, it's called self-serve, which is a funny name. um, yeah, so that's where it came from. And it was my like first week of work. Like in my first week at Eigen, I did this. And now looking back, it's like, what was I doing? So yeah, I think these are fine. It's just like I just don't like these buttons. It's what they had already, but I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna change it too much. Okay. So I had create users is what you've seen already. And then here, if you see, I have like permissions here. So they can like check permissions right away when they're adding. So feel free to reuse this or use a different version of this. Um, and then this is not in yet, but you can think about it because it's tricky. Um, Once you have like 10 users, for example, right? It's same as the manage factory. You also need like manage user, right?
Yeah.
So that was my very bad attempt here at manage users. So I have like this is like an Excel file, okay, like last name, first name, etc.
Okay.
And then search. So this is my attempt at manage users. The problem with this approach is the permissions. So last name, first name, email, like this is easy, right? The problem is with permissions because permission can be very complex, right? Yeah, because so my attempt is to, I mean, like feel free to change it. This is my hacky way of doing it. I just create numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have a legend at the bottom. So 1 means admin, 2 means you can see plant 1 and everything under it. 3 is you can see plant, but only these lines. So my hacky way just number it and give it a legend because it's really it can get really long if you put all the permissions here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, how do you edit permission, right? Like you can edit last name, edit first name, that's easy. You can reset password, that's easy. But like, how do you edit permission, right? Like, do you edit the number? And what happens if your combination is not listed? Do you need to, I guess here, like, add a new permission?
Yeah.
So,
Let's recreate this.
yeah. Yeah. So I just put all the things here, but it's not probably not the best, user experience. So that is factory resource and user.
Mm-hmm.
So that's piece number one because they need to do that before they start building algorithms, building machine learning models. First, they need to configure the factory and users.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of like brain work.
No, but it's good. I think I have some kind of ideas. I'm going to make some change in the but what you already have is it's good and your
It
explanation
works now.
is
Yeah,
yeah.
it works out. Yeah.
I'm going to be a little bit bold with this and make some fundamental changes. For example, I don't think we necessarily have the need of have the side menu here, but
Yeah.
it's just thinking and as I told you, change or present you a new header for the app because I know we can take advantage very good of this header, put it like all the the apps there and the settings, etc. But I'm going to present to you. I think it's clear. I feel confident already that you already gave me, and I'm going to work in. I hope in between today and tomorrow have some kind of um, like wireframes or no wireframe, but something to you to see it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, sounds good. Like, let me know if you have questions, and I'll try to come up with like maybe a tree diagram for you for all these relations because I want to make sure
Yeah,
that
that
my
would be
assumptions
perfect.
are correct. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
That sounds good.
yeah. Cool. Yeah, so this is not urgent, so you can take your time. Because right now the devs will be building image twin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and model builder and algorithm builder. So this is the studio. So this will be the enhanced version. So
Okay.
um yeah.
Perfect. No, it sounds good. So we have more time for made mistakes and do it
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to feel free to work in some ideas.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Well, Helen, have a nice one. Goodbye. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
Sí, mi amor.